of Dynamite or Mike. I, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, and Taz here. And today on Dynamite or Mike, we're going to have a good show here today. We believe we're going to have a good show here today because we don't always truly know what we're going to be doing. You know. Well, that's right, Tony Schiavone says. Sometimes we don't always know, what we're going to be doing in the TWF, But I hope you we're going to have a good show here today. Tony Schiavone says. Well, I can tell you one thing, Taz says. Whatever match or fight we're going to have here today on Dynamite or Mike, it's going to be a good one. And then what happened to your reading glasses, Taz says. Oh, the one that Jax made kept falling off. We had to put them over there for all the other things so we wouldn't lose it. Well, it looks, Tony Schiavone said, well, it looks like, Mike Lane says, it looks like that we have the minions or the underlings or helpers or henchmen from the Despicable Me or Shameful Me films, and there's about 4 of them, from the DreamWorks world, Mike Lane says. Well, that's right, Tony Schiavone said. Do you truly think that they will be the TWF World Tag Team? You think they will be a good team here today, here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering? Tony Schiavone says. I don't know they will or not, Mike. I don't know they will not, Mike Lane says. We don't know much about them. And they only came from a McDonald's Happy Meal, both of them. So, that's how it goes. Well, Taz says, I can tell you one thing. They're going to have to get in the back of the row if they want to go for the TWF World Tag Team winnings. Because right now, those winnings have been holded by, Captain James Kirk and leadman James Kirk and lead woman Marvel or Glass. So Taz says they might have to go in the back of the line. Taz says, well, that need be true. That need be true. And that need be true, Mike Lane says. They might have to go in the back of the line or the back of the row, Taz. But anyway, that's not going to make them any less a good team or a good tag team here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering, Mike Lane says. Well, I would say not. Tony Schiavone says they might make a good team. They might not make a good team, but they know who they're going up against. And now we got Montel Arcadius Porter in the ring again. So it seems that Bobby Lashley has choose to leave WWE, and his 2-diff run is over. Well, that includes my 2-diff run in WWE coming to an end too. And if he's going back to TNAW for a 3-diff run, then I guess I'm going back there too. As you see here, look. Show the almighty Saman look here. Now look, you two think you're so great because you come from the Despicable Me or Shameful Me, and there's only been 4 films so far. But Bobby Lashley's here to tell you that you're looking at a former 2-time WWE heavyweight fighter. You're looking at least a 4-time TNAW heavyweight fighter. You're also looking at a 2-time ECW heavyweight fighter. You're looking at a 3-time W41 Rights fighter. And you're also looking at a 2-time WWE Interland Bodies fighter. On top of being a former TNAW light heavyweight fighter and TNAW King of the Hill fighter. So yeah, he's done a lot of stuff both in WWE and also in TNAW. Just like he's going to do here when he beat you two up. Yeah, you're right, Montel Arcadius Porter. You bring up a lot of wonderful things, Montel, about me. You know? And now it's time for me to get back to being the main show in being the Almighty. Well, we know that there were some folks in WWE, I guess Bobby Lashley, Montel Arcadius Porter, we don't know, that thought that the ache business had been put back together for the 2nd time with new followers, I guess, and that never happened. No, I guess not, Tony Schiavone says, and some folks seem to believe that was one of the grounds to why Bobby Lashley didn't take up the new deal that Nick Khan and Hunter S. Helmsley offered in WWE. Well, we'll never truly know why that was, and some folks think that the ache business not getting put back together again means kind hating. But I just think that's bullshit. Oh, it's bullshit, Taz says. Anytime something happens that someone doesn't like, they think it's kind hating. They do. You know, Bobby Lashley is one of the very few wrestlers in WWE, very few black wrestlers, to win the WWE heavyweight winnings. Yeah, it was Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley, and Biggie Langston. Taz says. And let's be earnest about that. Ron Simmons was the first one to do it in WCW before Booker T, and now was the first one to do it in ECW long before Bobby Lashley or Mark Henry or Ezekiel Jackson. Yeah, and Ron Simmons did it before Booker T, but before Mark Henry. Yeah, that is true. That is all true. Oh, and Bobby Lashley's having a good time beating up these underlings. You know, here today on Dynamite or Mike, a handicap match, which Mike Lane says, I believe he wanted this just so he could show how mighty he is. Mike Lane said a body slam and a suplex, and some of them wish they were back in the DreamWorks world, working for whoever the former outlaw, now outlaw again, whatever his name is from the Despicable Me or Shameful Me films. And there had been about 4 of them, Mike Lane said. Tony Schiavone said, they're going to wish they were anywhere except in the toy wrestling ring. Tony Schiavone says. And Bobby Lashley has beaten both of these fellows. Tony Schiavone said, yeah, he has, Taz says. It's not even worth it. You know, they knew fighting Bobby Lashley they weren't going to win. 1, Taz says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Get out of here. Here are your winners. Here are your winners. Here is your winner, Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley has won his handicap match here today on Dynamite or Might. You know. So he can show folks that he is someone to deal with, and he is not some lean over. Well, that might be true, Tony Schiavone says. Some folks might say that Bobby Lashley has, done all he can do in WWE in his 2-diff run in WWE, and that some folks think that going back to TNAW for a 3-diff run might be the only thing, the only thing that he could do. Well, to tell you this, Mike Lane said, Bobby Lashley might be one of the very few big names that TNAW could get back. Since he did win the TNA heavyweights at least 3 or 4 times, he might be one of the very few names they could get back. Mike Lane says. I can tell you one thing, Tess, that whatever Bobby Lashley chooses to do, going back and keeping being a skilled wrestler or being a skilled fighter, whatever he chooses to do, good luck to him all the same. You know. Well, now we're going to take it away now to Gene Okerlund. Because Gene Okerlund is now standing by with Montel Rotadius Porter and Bobby Lashley. Thank you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Montel Rotadius Porter and Bobby Lashley here today. Montel Rotadius Porter, your man Bobby Lashley, has just showing folks how mighty and strong he is. Gene Okerlund, it is not even an asking thing. Bobby Lashley is strong and mighty. Have no one not known that when he was in OVW, when he went to WWE, when he went to BF and TNAW and BF and TNAW and WE? Did they not know that? Was it somehow, did Bobby Lashley by mistake become the two-time ECW heavyweight fighter in WWE? Become a 3-time W41 Reichs fighter? A 2-time WWE heavyweight fighter? Did he somehow by mistake become a 4-time TNAW heavyweight fighter, TNAW light heavyweight fighter, and TNAW King of the Hill fighter? I think not. Well, no one's not saying that Bobby Lashley didn't do all those things in WWE and TNAW, because yes, he did. Someone thought he was good enough to do all those things. But we're all saying was having a handicap match here today, here to show folks that Bobby Lashley is still the Almighty. Yes, he is still the Almighty, believe it or not. Once upon a time, Gene Okerlund, there was a team in TNAW known as the Beatdown Ken, which you could say was TNAW, which you could say is more like the 8 business and WWE, only about 4 followers instead of 3. Bobby Lashley, you got something to say. Yeah, Gene Okerlund, I do got something to say. What you saw out there is just a little bit of what I can do. You see, a lot of folks out there may have forgotten just how good I am, you know. And all the things I did in WWE in their first run there, not so much in my first run in TNAW, but my 2-diff run in TNAW and my 2-diff run in W did a lot of great shit. I am also a former TWF heavyweight fighter too myself. And sooner or later, all the winnings that I did in TWF and what I did in TNAW and WE, wherever I choose to go, it's only going to be bad news for everyone else. Alright, that's my talk with Bobby Lashley and his overseer, Montel Rotadius Porter. Back to you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. Thank you, Gene Okerlund, for talking with Bobby Lashley here and Montel Rotadius Porter here today on Dynamite for Mike. And before we go, I understand that we got one more little thing. Hey, boy, astronomer, you saw what happened out there. Yeah, I was watching. I'm not blind. Well, that's good. So you know that my man Bobby Lashley should be the next one to fight Cody Rhodes for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings. Well, yes. We'll see what we can do. Well, I'll think about it. You ever heard that saying? Think long, think wrong. Well, looks like it is all the time we... Shit. Well, looks like it is all the time we got here for Dynamite or Mike. I, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, and Taz. We hope you like Dynamite or Mike, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact or Hit.